Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into Sims Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Just bear with me, I have a little bit of a cold, so I kind of feel a little awful, but I also want to do this, so here we are. Today we're going to be reviewing This Will Be Interesting by Evie Asher. As you all know, I loved This Will Be Fun. And I love this book so much. I had really high expectations for this book because I loved This Will Be Fun so much. So my expectations for this book very, very high. Very, very high. And it lived up to all of them. So it takes place, a couple months after the events of, This Will Be Fun. And now we're following Gobble the Great. Remember he died and they found a way to save him, to bend time and pull him into the future. So he's like 10 years younger than everyone he used to know. Like, everything moved on. So he's just trying to figure out what to do with himself. Like his friends don't really need him. He was like the group leader, and now he's just like, well, they seem to have found their way without me, so they don't really need me. He's no longer big brother. So it's really, really interesting because he's like, I don't know what to do with myself. I was always a quester. I was always a hero. I died, and he's like, and I was okay with dying. It meant fulfilling my quest because he was Gobble the Great, Gobble the Good. He's totally okay with dying. And he feels a little bitterness because it's like, okay, I died for a good cause, but now my death has completely been undone, and I'm happy to be alive, but, I was happy to also be dead. Not that I'm not happy to be alive, he has a lot of feelings on the matter. And then, all of a sudden, assassins are coming after him. And he's like, what did I do? Like, why are assassins coming after me? Especially the Death Rose Guild. Because here's the thing with the Death Rose Guild. They only go after bad people. They're kind of like Dexter. They only kill bad people. Or people who do crimes, right? But River, the assassin hired to kill him, is starting to question that. She's like, well, he is a good guy. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what are my orders? Like, why? Why am I doing this? So she starts questioning everything, and she decides, you know what? I'm going to start following him. And then she teams up with her old crush, Celine, who's now a reporter. And she's like, well, I'm going to follow too because I need to investigate this because it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to expose the Death Rose Guild for the villains that they've become. And of course, Queen Thessia, who is Gobble the Great's former fiance, and there was no romance between. They were just like friends who were just in an arranged marriage. So she's like, okay, in her new marriage, she's like, no, we're gonna go on a quest. We're gonna go on our honeymoon, and you're gonna come with us, and we're gonna hide you. We're gonna solve this mystery because she's tired of being the damsel in distress. She wants to be a hero in her own right and find her own identity because she's always like been the queen. And she thinks her husband doesn't love her. And it's another arranged marriage, right? She thinks Hugh doesn't love her. And that's why she picked him. Because she's like, well, no one's ever going to be able to love me for me. They're only going to love me for the crown. So why get emotionally attached, right? Wrong. It's a fun adventure. Especially when they send Gobble, Claire, and Beatrice. And, they send Galwell to Claire's sister, very estranged sister. What's her name? Mona the Merciless, who Galwell seems to be very, very attracted to. And it's quite adorable because she's Mona the Merciless. She's a criminal. She has her own criminal enterprise. She's a villain. Yeah. Let's just say Galwell's rule of no romance on the quest does not get followed by anyone, himself included. It's such a fun novel. I love the cast of characters. I love the dynamic. I love the whole story. From beginning to end, I didn't even want to put it down. I couldn't put it down. It was just so engaging. We're going on a quest. We have these characters, and they're funny, and they're quirky, and, there's a lot of emotion behind these characters. Like, it's not just fluff, They all are trying to really deal with really deep emotions. and they're trying to solve a mystery, and they're trying to solve who wants Galwell dead and why. But each of them have to rectify with their own past. You know, Thessia has to rectify her past, Hugh, River, Celine, Mona. Every single character has to rectify with their own past and their identities and try to figure out who do they want to be. You know, who do they want to be in this new, like, world that they're kind of starting to form. And in doing so, they're forming their own little questing group, and it's fun. You know, it's a lot of fun. I loved it. I absolutely 100% loved the book. Yeah, I just got a shower, so my hair's a little crazy. I loved the book, honestly. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's engaging. I think Princess Bride, you know? It's funny and romantic and action-packed. It's got all of those elements. And it's an easy 5 stars for me because it does have a lot of emotion behind the characters, and it does have really interesting character dynamics, and I love seeing the characters challenge each other, because they do, you know? It's got a really fast pace, it's an ever-evolving storyline and plot. You know, you don't know what's going to happen next, and I honestly would love E.B. Asher can continue writing books in this universe or in this style, because I think, because it's 2 authors, I think that what they do is really, really well done. And yeah, easy 5 stars for me. Hands down, easy 5 stars. So, on that note, thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.